Good morning, everybody. Hopefully you can hear me this morning. And I'm going to still doing a little work here to adjust audio levels. It's a bright, beautiful, crisp, clear morning today. My gosh, couldn't ask for anything better. I want to welcome you all here today. We're here at Capitol Reef National Park. My name's Brad, and I'm here with my wife Martha and our ever-present companion Riley the Wonder Dog. So I am going to go ahead and switch over here, and we're going to give you our first image of what we're seeing today. Here's our bright, beautiful sun. Hi everybody. Hope you can all hear us today. little bit of a time delay this morning, and I can only ask your patience as I sit here and get ready, try to get things aligned. You can see the beautiful, beautiful sun this morning. Anyways, beautiful, beautiful morning here. We are just getting started here. I'm gonna have to go out. I'm gonna cut silent here for a second and try and uh, adjust this the focus on the sun here for a minute. Oh, and here's my lovely wife here just to help me out. So give me just a second. Okay, well, here we go. It is 9:12 local time here, and we are just experiencing the first part of the sun starting to cross the sky, and in about 3 hours, this will all be over with. So, sit back, relax, make yourself comfortable, pull up a chair, have some coffee, put on your eclipse glasses and look at the sun and have a good time. I have my color commentator here, Martha, who is, she's giving me some sage advice to pass along. There was for those of you who are watching the eclipse, it's really important that during this annular eclipse that you wear your glasses the whole time. Now, this is an annular eclipse, which means that the moon doesn't completely cover the sun, and so at what would be totality, there will be a ring around the sun. You won't, and that is. Don't mind me. I'm going to be eating some of my breakfast here, but here at Capitol Reef, the moon will cover about a little more than 89% of the sun, and it will darken a little bit here, but it won't darken significantly. And I have just experiencing the first part of the sun starting to cross the sky. In about 3 hours, this will all be over with. So sit back, So as I was saying, I where the sun's going to cover about, or the moon's going to cover about a little more than 89% of the sun today, but there will be a ring. They call it the Ring of Fire, that's going to appear around the sun. So you'll have to, if you're going to watch it, you have to wear glasses, eclipse glasses. It's the main mylar film that is the same that's covering the filter that I'm using on the telescope here, and it's extremely important to do that, because if you look at the sun for any amount of time, even when it's at totality, you can do a lot of damage to the retinas in your eyes.
So still at totality, huh?
What?
So at totality?
No, during the whole eclipse
I
you
know,
need to
but
watch.
even
Even during totality.
Okay.
That's not the case that when we were at in 2017, when we had a total solar eclipse, which just luckily passed over Salem, Oregon, and we could actually take off our glasses and look at the sun directly. And I will never forget my good friend Tim Lockram, while I'm sitting here looking at the computer and concentrating on following it on video, because we were working as a part of a crew with what was then CCTV, and the local access station in Salem, Oregon. And sitting there looking at the computer, and Tim just yells out, "Get off the computer and go look at this." So shout out to my buddy Tim, and he anyway. So some other interesting facts to know. The reason why this is an annular eclipse instead of a total solar eclipse is that the moon, as it goes around the Earth, it doesn't have a perfectly circular orbit. It kind of moves, it recedes and approaches the Earth during various parts in its orbit. Well, when it's further away from the Earth, as it is now, when it intersects the sun, it can't completely cover it. Whereas when it's closer to Earth, it does. And I have a couple. I wish I'd thought about it. I have a couple of photos of what the differences between them are, but that's the basic difference. And right now, you're probably looking at about 10% of the sun being covered, and about coverage, and it's going to, notice it's slowly increasing, and it's getting better. We don't really, I don't think we really notice anything here right now, but we are, as it gets closer, it will get dimmer. It won't get as dark as it does during a total solar eclipse, but it will get a little bit dimmer. So I want to say here today that we're here at Capitol Reef National Park, which is in Utah, central Utah, and we are camped in what they call a dispersed camping area, which is we're just outside the park, and there are, what would you say, hundreds of people here?
Oh yes, at least.
Yeah, several hundreds of people. We've had we,
Is
we
this BLM or
This is BLM land.
okay? Well, hooray for BLM, because this is nice.
Yes, and they've even porta potties and whatnot, and for people to use.
Had somebody handing out glasses.
Yeah, there are people out here handing out glasses, and for other people to use. And I wish I could show you a picture of our makeshift arrangement here. I'll have to insert that into a later video. But oh, we got here on Wednesday, right? And it wasn't too bad. I suppose there were about 4 or 5 other people in the same area where we're camped at. And yesterday was when they all started coming in, and they came in all night long. You could see headlights, motorcycles, engines gunning as they were people were riding around trying to find a place to stay. And they it was, it gets pretty busy here. And one person had talked to a ranger here, and they were expecting somewhere in the neighborhood of about 100,000 people in Wayne County, which is where we're located. And that's odd. There's somebody leaving right now, leaving in the middle of probably one of the greatest astronomical events that that we can happen. Well, more for us, I guess. So, anyway, they were talking about expecting maybe 100,000 people in the county, and you have to remember that Wayne County only has about 2,500 residents total. So it's been pretty calm, pretty quiet, pretty peaceful. You hear the sound of generators running in the background, and it's nice.
BLM has done such a good job. There's campsites.
Yeah, a lot of places out here for people to camp. And anyway, we had maybe 2 or 3 people when we got here on Wednesday, and then this morning woke up and they're packed in here like sardines. We have a guy on a bicycle with his tent, and next to us we've got a car with car campers who I don't even think they have a tent. I think they just slept in the car overnight.
For them.
Yeah, yeah, that's what you call minimal camping. And anyway, so
Because there's no water or power out here.
oh yeah, there's no water, no power out here, and um, we are fortunate enough to have a several solar panels and a battery bank that we can rely on for for today's broadcast. So I'm going to take a moment here and go off the air, and we're probably at still around between 10 and 15% coverage. So once again, you're watching the 2023 annual solar eclipse live from Capitol Reef National Park in central Utah. Okay, you can see now you were getting close to 20% coverage, and you can also see some really high, thin clouds that are adding a kind of a stippling, I guess you would call it, as they cross in front of the sun. It's just a morning here. You know, you really couldn't ask for much better day to be watching. Although it was kind of cold this morning, I will say that. It was we had a low of around 32 degrees, and wind kicked up. And you know, when you're trying to get set up in that kind of weather, it's cold fingers. Need I say more? Cold fingers. So, one question that I'm being asked about, somebody sent in, black, and why is instead of the sun being blue, sky being blue with the sun going, telescope has on it a solar filter. That filter removes about, oh man, I want to say like 99.9% of light passing through it. So what you're seeing, I can't remember if it's 99% or 99.9%, but anyway, you're seeing 1% or less of the sun's light coming through, and that's so that it doesn't do things like, oh, I don't know, you know, when you have a telescope with a big, like a giant magnifying lens, and you had a full sun shining at it, I suppose you could point it at somewhere and start a fire pretty easy. But it also has nasty effects like burning out camera electronics, which is not a lot of fun either. So uh, that's why, anyway, it just screens out the rest of the light around the sky. Um, if I'd had a little more time, I would have set up a camera so that you could see what it looks like around the area here. Or at least was thinking about doing that. But to be honest, you don't really, your eye does such a good job of adjusting for changing light conditions that you wouldn't really see anything, and you don't really notice anything until it gets really pretty far along. And so anyway. That I hope that answers that question. Um, what else can I tell you about? Well, this is the my second annular solar eclipse. The first one was in 2012 when my good friend Paul Turner drove out to Great Basin National Park in eastern Nevada. It's like sits right on the Utah-Nevada border, and compared to this year, it was quite a different experience. Mainly because there were hardly any people there. Like I said, in this year they're expecting something on the order of 100,000 county of 2,500. Now in Great Basin, the closest town of, well, any town is Baker, Nevada, and it probably has a few hundred residents, maybe, well, maybe 100 or less at that time. And what so we Paul and I we were we were didn't have any place reserved to stay at. Oops, excuse me a second. Sorry about that. I had to for this. I was planning to use a new imaging system for solar eclipse, but couldn't get it to work yesterday during the trial run. So what I did was I set up a backup, which is I have a Canon camera, which I think it's an EOS 70D, and has to shut off, and then transmitting again. So you guys get to see all this stuff live, and of course when I get the video for this, uh, I'm recording the whole thing as well. So when I get that video, I'm going to probably edit that out. But anyway, back to my story. To keep So Paul and I were at Great Basin National Park in 2012 in Baker, Nevada. This little teeny tiny town of probably a few, I would say like less than 100 people, and we didn't have any plan. We just, I was in my had the trailer. Paul was driving his motorcycle, and we just came out to Eastern Oregon, and we pulled up to the only RV park in that in Baker, and said, the guy said, "Hey, yeah, come on in. We've got it set up with a place to stay." We drove around a little bit, looked around. It's kind of Great Basin's a really, really interesting place. It's one area in Nevada that's so tall. Well, Great Basin it's named for. There's a in there, and the name of it just slips off the tip of my tongue right now. But it's so tall that it contains, I think, either 6 or 7 uh, ecological zones as you go up the mountain, and that was pretty interesting. And there's also this wonderful cave system there called Lehman Caves. In fact, we're going to be going to Great Reef National Park after we leave here. And anyway, so I we got set up at this RV park, and we went over to next door to there was a bar in town. I don't remember the name of it, but I went in and I asked the bar owner. I said, "Hey, we're going to be here for the solar eclipse that's coming in a couple of days, and I was wondering if I could borrow an electrical outlet from you, and so I can plug in my telescope gear." And the guy said, "Sure, yeah, no problem." So here we are on the day of the eclipse. Paul and I are sitting here. We've got the telescope sitting in front of the bar, and then as the eclipse is going, the bar patrons are coming out and they're wanting to look through the telescope, so they do that, and I'm taking some photos, this same camera, and Paul some other photos of stuff that's around. Which if you've ever done any kind of eclipse photography, if you haven't ever done it, one of the really cool things to do is like right now. So the moon is about a 25% coverage, I would say, the eclipse. Go out and find a place where you've got leafy trees, for those of you who still have leaves on your trees, and take a look down at the ground on the shadows that's being cast, and what you'll see is hundreds or thousands of little tiny crescents of the partial eclipse of the sun, and it's really a fascinating thing to watch, this diffraction effect that you get from having all the light shining through these the leaves. Um, and you can do that with trees. You can do that with anything that is around the area that has basically holes in it, and there's shadows that small enough shadows that fall through. And that's and for those of you who don't have eclipse glasses, I guess that reminds me of something else, which is that you can go out and if you have a box, take the box and put a small hole, like a pin hole, use just like a small pin, push that in through the cardboard through the other side, and then hold the end with the pinhole in it up to the sun, and find the sun, and then put the box in front of you or over you, above your head, and you can look at the back of the box, and what you'll see is the image of the sun, just like we're looking at now. You'll see the present that it's as it's appearing, and the smaller you make the hole, the better the image you'll get is out of it. I've done it a couple of times. You can even do it with a couple of pieces of paper. Put a pinhole in one piece of paper or a construction board or something like that, and hold the other piece, and then just move it back, move the other piece closer or further away to get good the image that you want to see. So we're going here. It is what time is it, honey? So it's 9:48. So we've been in this just about 40 minutes, and we have more clouds passing in front of the sun again, which I think is a pretty cool effect. So totality. Oh, criminy Christmas. It's something like that. So Martha's asking is when is totality, and that's around. I think it's around 10. I don't have it, the image right in front of me, although I could look it up, couldn't I? I have that we have that technology right here in River City. So yeah, I think it's right around 10:30, and the totality event here will last. I think it's 4 minutes and 42 seconds, or 4 minutes and 43 seconds, something like that. And that is about a medium length for a totality event. Now, when we were in Salem, I think it was only about 2.5 minutes. And I did read once that the absolute longest eclipse that you could, you know, if you do the math, the longest possible eclipse is something on the order of 7 minutes and 40 seconds. Like I said, this is a medium length event, but it's long enough that it'll be really interesting to see and to be able to get a good look at it. And with cameras that have solar filters on them can take photos, and we can all
Don't take a photo without a solar
yeah,
filter.
do not take a photo without a solar filter. Yeah, telling them about that earlier. And I don't know that we'll be taking it. Well, the photos that I'm getting, this video I'm getting here is going to be pretty darn good. So we may try to get a couple of with our iPhone. Anyway, so I'm gonna go back offline, off mic here for a little bit, and we'll talk to you in a little bit. Thanks. And again, you're watching a live stream of the 2023 Annular Solar Eclipse live from Capitol Reef National Park in central Utah. Okay, well, we're back here for a little bit. I thought so. We're getting close to, I think, somewhere between 40 and 50% coverage. Yeah, I think back to the tales of uh, uh, the other older civilizations. Maybe not less. I'm not going to say uh, civilizations that thought about the sun and described it in various ways, how described eclipses in various ways. They were always many of them. These were such major and unknown events. It was frightening to a lot of people, and what we would have, there would be things like an animal eating the sun, or they would be harbingers of doom or of great change, and those are, you know, in fact, now some cultures like and others were understood the mechanics enough that they could calculate and predict eclipses were going to occur. And because a, standard cycle of solar eclipses, and they run on a standard. I'll look it up here. Um, because I don't remember. If you hear Martha in the background, we've got. So yeah, so looking here, article in Wikipedia. So yeah, the Saros cycle. So the Saros cycle is, I think we're anyway, the mechanics for that are what is predicting what we're going to have for this one, or this eclipse, and for the one that's coming up in April of 2024. I think the uh, the information I have is that there is about 3 times a year around the world, and so it's pretty amazing that we are having this annular eclipse today. Then on April 8th of 2024, we're going to have another total solar eclipse that is going to cross from basically offshore Mexico, then coming up through Texas, and on its way to the northeast. Uh, the interesting fact about this annular eclipse is I mentioned that Paul Turner and I went to see an annular eclipse in 2012. I believe it was in May of 2012. I know he'll correct me if I was wrong, but this particular eclipse today also is crossing Great Basin National Park. And one of the interesting things about the eclipse is that it is going to cross the path of this eclipse as well. I think it's in Illinois. No, somebody will correct me if I'm wrong. Um, Ourselves, Martha and I are planning to go watch this total solar eclipse as well, and we're going to be in Fredericksburg, Texas, on April 8th, and we're going to be staying at the uh, Lady Bird John Municipal RV Park in Fredericksburg. And to give you an idea, how committed I am, or whether I should be committed to watching eclipses. I made reservations of this park approximately 2 years ago, and at the time they were talking about how the eclipse was they were already getting close to full, and they were going to be uh, just almost had run out of spaces at that point, and that's the case for uh, I looked recently and looked at VRBO for students who were thinking about going, and at the time, a so I signed up for a package that they have. It's like a 4 day or 5 day, let's see, and 3 or 4 nights package at uh, in Frederick at this park in Fredericksburg, and it's something like on the orcs, and I thought, oh my God, $500 to stay at a county RV park? That's highway robbery. Well, let me tell you, I was watching, I was looking around at these VRBO and Airbnb sites, and $500 a night, ha! And they were like more like $1,000 a night, and I thought, oh, okay, well this isn't so bad. So I guess that puts everything in perspective. Now we're at about 50 on our site, and we're just gonna watch this long. Now, when this gets starts getting really close, I think our tea time for the the Ring of Fire is at let's see, I don't know. Martha's gonna again 10:30. People want to hear more from you, Martha. 10:27. That's yeah. In about 10 minutes, I'm gonna do a little shutdown and restart of the camera because I don't want it going off in the middle of the eclipse. So until then, I'm just gonna go off line here for a little bit, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Again, this is the 2023 total solar eclipse, the annular eclipse, here at Capitol Reef National Park in central Utah. Be back soon. we're back. So one thing mentioned to you. So we are now well over 50%. We are probably about 60% average. And it's kind of interesting when this starts in '09. A little bit of sun is being obscured. I don't know about the rest of you. It just feels like when you get to the point, it starts moving really fast. And I will say that in this area, I'm looking out over the this this first camping area where we're at. You can definitely see that it's getting dimmer. Oops. See, there, it's time for me to turn off the camera again. I'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. And I was just saying, I was thinking, yeah, I got to go ahead and um, set up my, turn off the camera. Well, the camera for me, it was precipitated my. So I was saying that, it's getting dimmer here. We have some more clouds that are just a real thin layer of clouds that are moving in. We're at about 80% coverage now. It's getting noticeably colder now and chilly, but we're going to stick through it and we're going to be here for the whole darn thing. So just stick with us. It's kind of funny, and I was mentioning about the 2012 annular eclipse I was at. That, you know, something like this happened as well. That as we get close to totality, drops and clouds can start forming, and it's uh, it's actually pretty noticeable drop in temperature. Man, I'm shivering and I'm kind of ooh yeah, but we're still here. Martha's laughing and chuckling at me. I don't know why I'm shivering all of a sudden. I've been pretty good up to this point. Yeah, yeah, probably dropped about 10 degrees, and it wasn't that warm to be with. I mean, like, I woke up this morning, it was 32 degrees. I suppose it got up into the mid 40s time the eclipse started, and so we're probably getting right back down to around freezing again. Yeah. So we're gonna go off mic here and just sit and watch along with the rest of you. Again, this is Brad and Martha and Riley the Wonder Dog speaking to you from Capitol Reef National Park near Torrey, Utah for the 2023 Annular Solar Eclipse. We'll be back just about the time we enter totality. See ya. Okay, we're back. We're about 10% away. Reality. It's kind of an exciting time. And I want to thank everybody who has been on the chat today. It's really nice to see you all here and to have you all here. And I hope you're all enjoying it as much as we are. And the sun has come out from behind the clouds. We have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful clear sky. It's getting dimmer and dimmer here. It's just amazing. And we're just going to wait here for the last few minutes. Anything anybody wants to talk about? So, how fast the planet's traveling? Buddy, I have no idea. You know what? There's an astronomy website. You look at the speed of the relative speed of the moon and the earth and the sun. And figure it out. Oh, so some of you might be able to see there's sun flares upper left. Martha's saying, getting close. And there, we're just at totality. And I don't know if you could see it, but just as the edge left, as as the sun was just, moon was just crossing over the edge of the sun, if you looked really close, you could see the mountains and the terrain, the moon shining through. Those are these beads. And normally, what we would do is, at this point, we would take the filter off, and you could see the whole the aurora, the corona of the sun coming out. But unfortunately, we can't do that today. But because it would fry all of our equipment. But we have it, folks. We are at totality here at Capitol Reef Park. People are cheering, and it's a I'm trying to take some photos with my super duper iPhone here if I can.
It's dim, but it's not. It's like it's dark.
Yeah, yeah. As Martha's remarking, she says it's dimmer. At it through my now, and it's just spectacular.
These
It's
photos are
just
great.
spectacular. You know, I've waited. I don't know. How long have I been obsessing about this, honey?
15 years?
No, not 16 years. I mean,
Well, you've planned it for the last 2 years.
yeah, I've been planning it for the last 3 or 4 years to be here. Finally, this day has come, and we're here.
Stop Fredericksburg.
Yeah, now I can. But it is.
These eclipse glasses are great.
Yeah,
And really comfortable and accurate and makes me feel really safe.
and they're fashionable too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so fashionable glasses,
Okay.
and this your uh, next is fashionable eclipse glasses. Okay,
Ready to get going.
yeah, we're getting close to the end here. I'm just gonna go quiet. And like I said, on the lower left, you'll see just as the sun touches, you can see the mountains of the moon and the Bailey's beads.
What are Bailey's beads?
So the Bailey's beads are shining through the gaps in the mountains of the moon as it just touches.
Oh, you can see texture.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh, it just goes so fast.
Yeah. So, what everybody think? Oh, Molly. Molly Canola writes goes, wow, 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 wow.
Oh, look, there's Anne's room.
Ah. uh, my sister-in-law Ann Lyon is sending Martha videos of home in Massachusetts watching the eclipse, the live streaming of the eclipse on their TV. It's pretty funny. Oh,
A little fire going below. Nice.
yeah, 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 that we're envious, Ann. We're envious. Okay, so, oh man, this has been uh, this has been a great eclipse. You know, broke this, the clouds broke long enough for the eclipse to be nice and clear and bright. And now that we're back to coming back on the other side, yeah, it was really that just as we were exiting totality, I felt it felt a lot dimmer, and it was just because of those clouds. We're just moving back in. So I shout out to the National Weather Service for giving us a clear period of clear sky just as totality was entering. So thank you, gods. All right, I'm just going to go off air here for a minute and kind of enjoy this and and drink some hot coffee, my extra strong hot coffee. Okay, so again, this is Martha and Brad and Riley the Wonder Dog coming to you live from Capitol Reef National Park here in central Utah for the 2023 Annular Solar Eclipse. Okay, hello everybody. Back. I have to say, I was about on the flip side, we're about 60% coverage. And true form, the bikers are leaving the campground, the camping area, and it is a mad dash. People rush to escape and join the 1,000 other people who are trying to do the same thing on the one two-lane road that leads out of here. So only one road. You can go east, you can go west, but God help you, and shortly if you try to make a left-hand turn going the up across the road, this highway, because it is just going to be packed.
Well, we appreciate the spectrum of people who appreciated
Yeah, Martha, you made mention that you made a comment about just the spectrum of people that have come to something like this is pretty amazing. And you're going to have to forgive me if the picture if the image gets a little uh, more obscure, not because of clouds, but from all the dust that's arising from people driving off, being spinning tires as they're trying to accelerate out of here. So
a teeny bit of exaggeration.
so and I had a question here. Somebody asked if this is going to be saved as a video. Yes, it is going to be saved as a video, and I am going to be taking the video from this and editing it down into a more reasonable format. And if you're interested, the video it's only going to be $49.95, and and if you and if you don't want to hear me talking, it's going to be $59.95. It was kind of funny today. So I have this box of eclipse glasses that I originally bought when we went on to the 2012 eclipse, annular eclipse, and I was gonna just, and several people took, and today, yeah, or yesterday, there's several hmm,
Oh, go ahead.
several of the guys around.
Never mind. Go ahead.
So several of the guys around here, people around here, I gave them eclipse glasses because they didn't have any. And then I started hearing from other people coming around that they couldn't find any eclipse glasses anywhere near here, anywhere in this area. And uh, somebody made the suggestion that I should sell my remaining stock of eclipse glasses. So I should have what I should have done was I guess made a big sign and hang it off of Riley's back, and had because Riley likes to go around. He likes to say hi to everybody, and he's not. I could have just put a big sign on him and said, "Follow me to buy eclipse glasses." And I guess I could have sold the rest of my stock. Who knows? Might have made enough to pay for the whole trip. Yeah, it's something to. I suppose, honey, that's something to think about for Texas next year. We
That's
can
right.
we could bring a couple of cases of eclipse glasses and set up a little shop and
Stand on the side of the road and put
stay.
a little Indian blanket over it.
Yeah, with Riley wearing a pair of them. You know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think that would work. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, we're getting now close to probably 50% coverage. And it's just been a beautiful day. Right now, we've got some thin cirrus clouds covering up, but it'll be coming out here pretty soon. I think as soon as it starts warming up a bit, it'll burn some of those clouds off, and we'll be back to totally very sunny skies. So, doesn't feel like it's getting a little bit warmer, doesn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit warmer. Okay, well, a few minutes, and see you soon. Again, this is Brad and Martha and Riley the Wonder Dog here at Capitol Reef National Park in central Utah, the 2023 Annular Solar Eclipse. Hi, everybody. Well, we're back, and another, oh gosh, about another half hour to go, I think. And the show, yeah, ends at 11:58. So probably have to do one more camera reset before then. But for those of you who have decided to stay on, I'm thank you. Thanks for hanging in there, and it's really having you all here. We're about, I'm going to say, about 75% towards the end of the show here. And more people are leaving. If you're sticking around, I think we're going to be here till I think maybe Monday or Tuesday. I really like it here. This is a super nice spot, and probably after the crowds of people clear out of here, we're gonna, I don't know. There's a lot of interesting places to see and places to visit around Capitol Reef and in the whole area. So if you ever get a chance to be here, to go here, I encourage you to enjoy it. My first visit to Capitol Reef was courtesy of my friends Neil and Chris Corsmo. Neil and I worked together at University of North Dakota when I was in grad school, and Neil at that time was a seasonal ranger with the National Park Service, and he was out at Teddy Roosevelt out in western North Dakota. And then after graduation, he became full time. I think Chris became a full time Park Service employee as well, and they moved down to here to Capitol Reef, and I came out to visit them, and I remember it for a couple of reasons. One is that here in the little town of Fruita, where the Park Service offices are located, they have a U-pick orchard, so you could go out and you could pick apples and any other fruit that they had growing at the time, and that was, I always loved that. And then the other thing was we watched the Clarence Thomas hearings, confirmation hearings, which were on TV at that time. So, and at that time, I think Capitol Reef was just a national monument, not a national park. But now it's a full-fledged national park, and it gets tons of visitors here every day, and especially here in the fall and in the spring, and it's really a beautiful place to come. So I think Martha's first visit here was a couple of years ago, a few years ago, and then we came back a couple of years ago for another visit, and we are back here again. And I think this is one of our favorite places to come visit. So not sure what we're going to do this time around, but there's some nice little hikes you can go. There's nice hiking. If you have a high clearance vehicle, there's a wonderful road you can drive called the Burr Trail that leads down south to the southern end of the park, and then up this amazing set of switchbacks to take you up to the town of Escalante. And then there's another road that's often traveled that goes north to the north end of the park. And I've not been on that, but if it's conducive, I think we may go do that this time. So anyway, so we are definitely getting closer to the end, and it's definitely getting warmer now. Boy, it sure does warm up fast out here. So I'm just going to go off mic for a little longer, maybe a few more minutes, and then we'll come back on here just at the end to close up this broadcast. Well, I want to thank you all again for being here with Martha, Riley, and I here at Capitol Reef National Park in central Utah to watch the 2023 Annular Solar Eclipse. Okay, well, we're back again, and we're getting down here near to the end. We got about just a little shy of less of a half hour to go before the whole event ends, and you can see that we're now 20 or 25% uh, remaining of the moon eating away at the sun. So now as the eclipse started and the moon was consuming the sun, now it's decided it didn't like its meal and it's disgorging it all and returning it back. And so we're just gonna sit and watch the last few minutes. I'm gonna wait a couple more minutes and do one more trip of the shutter and the camera so I can get it through the end of the eclipse. Again, I want to thank everybody for all of your comments and all your kindness and for joining us today here. It really means a lot. That so many were and enjoyed the show. Um, yeah, it takes a lot of took a lot of work to get this going, and we'll hopefully this will be we'll able to do better next time. Uh, the 2024 eclipse is probably the last one I'll be able to see. So I'm hoping that the weather's good for that. Weather here today was terrific, and you guys were all terrific, and it was really nice having you here. And I want to send out a special thanks to my wife Martha for all of her cooperation and her flexibility and for supporting me during this whole uh, I couldn't have done it without her. And well, Riley, your dog. What can I say? You're a good boy, and you're a really happy boy. He's really enjoying it out here. He can run around without having to be on a leash, and he is just one happy camper. Um, I want to say that, and I really also want to appreciate everybody who participated in the chat today. It's really nice to see your comments, and I wish I could say that I could reply to you to everything. However, one of the challenges that we had during this uh, eclipse has been that it's been really hard to for me to look at the monitor of my laptop screen while this has been going on, and part of it is because I did put uh, a cover on the screen. And I thought it was going to be like an anti-glare cover, but it turned out not to be so. So we're going to get an anti-glare screen. And the other thing was just the sun coming down is really hard to see the screen itself. And Martha came up with a great idea that we took one of the storage crates that I was using to haul all this stuff. Let's call it stuff. We want to keep it a family show, right? Um, so we flipped that over and made it to a kind of a black box, and we found something we could cover it with to help keep it dark. Really helped, and Martha was the one who came up with the idea. So it's always kind of a this is the first time I've tried this out. Don't get too many chances to try out this stuff like this, but now that done this, it gives me some ideas for what to do for next April at the total solar eclipse. So anyway, oh gosh, now we're down to probably 15% or less, and it's time for me to go flip the camera off and back on one last time. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go off mic here for a few more minutes, and we're going to do that. And Just a reminder once again for anybody who's just catching this, this is the 2023 Annular Solar Eclipse from Capitol Reef National Park with, in central Utah with Brad, Martha, and Riley, the Wonder Dog. I'll be right back. What beautiful. So for what a uh, I have a Canon SLRs producer that has a Tim